Good afternoon. I don't know why I said that. Okay, so I know this video is about Foggy and Karen, and I said that, and we're doing it. But I also noticed something that was pointed out to me, that Dex, Bullseye, and Matt have literally, like, the same but also opposite character arcs. Like, Dex is just Matt if he was, like, crazier. Just one bad day away from being Dex. Not one bad day away from being the Punisher. One bad day away from being Dex. So originally this was going to be second to last because I only have one more thing written down. But we're going to do that. But first, before we get into the main point of the video, I actually wanted to bring something up that I noticed about this show. So, the show was created by a man, and is made and written by a man. And I'm just going to put this for the record, though I do identify as a feminist. You know, I often don't get into the male gaze, female gaze, all that stuff. I don't really care. The only things that I've ever been, like movie characters or whatever, I've been super feminist about, and, you know, whatever, is Elizabeth Swann. Because let's fucking face it, okay? If she was a man, she would not be on some island waiting for her cursed husband to come around every decade or so. No, if she was written by a woman, she would have gone off and been the Pirate King, like she was supposed to be. I'm sorry, this makes me very mad. Another example is Harley Quinn. If you really want to know the difference between male gaze and female gaze, Harley Quinn is the best thing I can come up with. Okay, because in Suicide Squad, her deal is what? She's hot. That's basically her whole character. The way that she's shot and the way that she looks in that. So, I don't want to hate on Margot Robbie. The woman has no boobs. Okay, that's perfectly fine. It's whatever. She's still incredibly beautiful. But she's wearing a push-up bra in Suicide Squad to make it look like there's something there when really there's not much, you know? And she's also wearing booty shorts. She's got long hair. Her bangs frame her face, and you know, she's got strategically ripped clothing, and there's literally a scene where she takes her clothes off, and when she's in jail, she's not wearing, like, a jumpsuit. She's in, like, this little smock thing. And there's literally a scene where she pole dances in a, like, skimpy dress. Birds of Prey? First of all, I only watched Birds of Prey because I was like, okay, well, you know, I like Harley Quinn. We'll see where this goes. I did not expect it to be good, right? I was like, this is gonna suck, but I'm gonna watch it anyway, because I found it at the library, right? Ewan McGregor's in it, I'll watch it. It fucking is the best freaking DC movie I've ever seen. It is so good. I love it so much. My chair is messed up. I'm trying to scoot it back. I love it so much. It's such a good movie. And the way Harley is portrayed in that one, she cuts her hair shorter. Her bangs are more like fun rather than flirty. And she wears kooky clothes that are sometimes a little skimpy, but you can clearly see that she enjoys wearing them, that she's wearing it for the purpose of it being fun and her liking it. Literally the most dramatic part of the entire movie is when she drops her sandwich. Like, it is such a good movie. I cannot even, and it doesn't even go super hard. It's not annoying like Ghostbusters, right? It's really good. Okay, so back to Daredevil. The thing about Daredevil is that while it's made by men and shot mostly in the male gaze, I've noticed that it is really good at not sexualizing anybody other than Matt. Because I don't know if you're on that side of Instagram where you see fucking edits of, I'm outing myself right now, but it's okay. This little cringy edit things of like Doja Cat songs of like hot people or whatever, usually fictional characters. Anyway, all the ones I've seen of Matt, a lot, they don't have to hardly edit anything because he's just half naked so many fucking times Like, there's legitimately only one sex scene, and all you see is, like, the side of Elektra's boob, and that's it. Most of the focus is on Matt. Like, it's not about her, so. She just doesn't care, but, like, literally, there's only one other scene I can think of, and it's where Karen takes her shirt off. But it's literally, like, 2 seconds, and you don't see anything other than that she's just, like, sort of. I actually really like that part, because of just, it's funny to me, because she just met Matt, she started taking her shirt off in front of him, but, like, she just sort of, he hands her, like, a new shirt, because she wanted a new one or whatever, and she, like, looks at it, and then she, like, looks at him, and then she just, because she's like, he's blind, he can't see shit, and he's like, damn, she really just did that, okay. Anyway, I just think it's funny, but anyway, I noticed that, like, the women hardly sexualized ever. Most of them have really good, well-written arcs anyway, to the point where it's like, you know, because there's shows, like, that are made by women that do the same thing. Like, Matt is sexualized so often. But, like, not even Marcy, who's, like, a slut. They don't even sexualize her. Or Karen. Well, they hardly do it to Elektra. Whenever they do it, it's usually, like, she's doing it on purpose. You know? Maybe that is a little male gazy. But still, I just noticed that it's really doesn't objectify women hardly at all. And, like, the few times where it does, it's also objectifying another, like, man. So, the people who wrote Daredevil absolutely knew what they were doing. It is so good. Okay, now, transition into Foggy. Foggy, he believes in the law. He's like Matt, but he doesn't think that violence is the answer. I disagree, okay? I think he's soft. Anyway, El Grande Avocados, shut up, okay? He doesn't get what Matt's deal is. He does, right? Because he tells him, he's like, I think that this is just an excuse for you to hit someone. And he's right. And all the crap. Matt literally stole his wallet, lied to him for years, you know, abandoned him during the trial of Frank Castle, right? He's such a bad friend, especially in season 3. Like, he stole his wallet and impersonated him to get into a prison. Like, Matt is a terrible friend to Foggy. Terrible. And then Foggy still sticks around and pays his rent when he thinks he's dead so that people don't catch on that Matt and Daredevil both went missing at the same time. And if they ever find his body, I don't know, but Foggy is such a good friend, and Matt straight up doesn't deserve him. He is so pissed off at him, and they end up losing their law firm over an argument, and, like, he wants him to stop because he doesn't think that Daredevil's healthy for him. He's right, to be fair, but come on. And I think I would be like, awesome, my best friend's a superhero. But Foggy is very much like, you're gonna get yourself killed. Considering how he found out, anyway, I think I'd be a little pissed off, right? If my best friend, if I just, like, drunkenly stumble into my best friend's apartment looking to hang out, have fun, and I find this man half fucking dead on the floor, covered in a pool of his own blood, wearing a superhero costume, I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind. And that is exactly what he did. And when he tries to punch me for calling 911, no. And then he tells me to call some woman I've never even heard of, that I don't know at all, and be like, I trust her, I need her to come. It's like, you told this random person I've never met everything about yourself, but you don't tell me this? Yeah, he's mad, I get it. He helps Matt because he's the one who basically is like, we can't kill Fisk. That would be wrong. You would become somebody you don't recognize. I don't want that to happen. And then Matt gets really mad at him because, well, what happens? The grand jury that they call to listen to Agent Nadim's testimony is infiltrated and ruined, and Karen makes herself look like an idiot on live TV again, and, you know, and Ellenson gets mad at her, rightfully, probably. Actually, Ellenson fires her because of this crap, and then, like, you know, when that doesn't work, predictably, you know, because it never works, ever, and then, you know, Foggy's like, oh, we'll try again, and Matt's like, no, I fucking had it, I'm gonna kill him, and he runs away. So, he's a great friend. He puts up with Matt, even though he literally hates that he does those things. He's not super understanding when it comes to Matt, though. He just sort of gets mad at him whenever he's like, but I had no choice. He tries to, like, walk away from it a lot because he doesn't want to accept that Matt is doing the things that he's doing because, like, it's the right thing. And, like, when he tells him about how he started being Daredevil, which was, like, you know, beating up a child molester, he's still mad at him. He's like, okay, I get it, but still, what the fuck, man? And it's like, dude, what is your deal? What is your deal? Anyway, again, I don't think I would be mad at him. I think I'd be mad. Okay, I'd be mad that he didn't tell me. And then whenever Matt lies to him, he gets mad. Like, the reason that he pushes his friends away in season 3 is because he doesn't really get why they would stick around anyway. And then he ends up using them. You know, again, I'll talk about this in my Dex vs. Matt video, which is coming up next, because this is more relevant to that than it is to this, but, like, the whole thing, literally, he steals Foggy's wallet, and Foggy's like, oh, I lost my wallet. But when he comes back in season 3 to reveal to Foggy he's alive, he tells him, he's like, look, hey, I'm alive, and Foggy hugs him and cries, and he's like, oh my god, I missed you so much, I thought you were dead, you gotta go talk to Karen. He's like, no, Foggy, I'm not coming back, I just came to tell you that I'm alive, and that I'm done, and we're done, and you will never see me again. And he's like, yeah, okay, bud, and then he steals his wallet, so... Okay, take a break from recording for just a second. I'll pause it, and I'll come back and talk about Karen. Not that it really matters, because it will only be like a second. Alright. My face itches so much. Okay. Karen is a pathological liar. No, okay. I wrote that, but I don't mean that. She gets involved in too much, right? You know, she's the one who like, threatens Fisk, and be like, oh, I talked to your mom, oh, I killed Wesley, and, like, she did that for a reason, but, like, it didn't work out, which led her to being like, hey, I gotta skip town, going to Maggie and being like, hey, have you seen Matt? And she's like, trauma dumping. So, she's always involved in everything, and half the crap that Matt ends up having to fix is her fault. She makes everything worse. I don't really like Karen that much. Also, since we're talking about Karen, absolutely hate her and Matt's relationship. Other than the episode where they went to get Indian food and, like, hung out and kissed and whatever in the rain, that was such a nice moment. The actors are so good, but, like, freaking, I did not know. Literally, I think somebody on Tumblr actually said, Karen Page has chemistry with everyone except Matt Murdock. She has it with Punisher, Foggy, freaking, I don't know, literally any other character. She's got it with, like, everybody else, but not Matt. And it's so weird, and I was so afraid. I was like, please don't put them together, they're just the main guy and main girl. They, like, tried, but then, you know, Matt died, and she, you know, had her own thing, so. But it would never have worked, really, as it stood, because at that point, when they actually did get together, like, first of all, it came out of nowhere, just randomly. It was like, oh, they're playing pool, and it's sensual because she's, like, touching him. And then Foggy makes a remark. He's like, I left you guys alone for 2 seconds. And Matt's like, she wanted to teach me. It's like, why are you blind playing pool? She doesn't know you're Daredevil, man. She's gonna think it's weird. I mean, they were good scenes, right? It's just, I didn't like that it was her. Again, Team Claire over here. Definitely not Elektra. No, definitely not Elektra. Although I do imagine if she does come back, which most likely. And the thing about it is when he was dating Karen, he was also working with Elektra, who he still had feelings for. And he was still, like, making out with her, too. And he's always like, oh my god, Elektra, stop. Stop. Oh my god. I'm with Karen now. I don't need you. Why are you flirting with her? Why are you playing games? Because he's like, Elektra, why did you leave me? Meanwhile, Karen is like, Matt's late on our date again. What the frick is wrong with this man? You know, and she mentioned her brother, right? He was like, I didn't know you had a brother. She's like, oh, he's nice. She lied to his face. Kevin is not nice. Kevin is dead. Kevin is dead. Whose fault is that? Not her. Kind of her, but not really. I don't want to blame her for that. It's mean. But, like, he's dead. And she wouldn't tell him that. She wasn't like, oh, yeah, well, you know, he died. I don't like to talk about it. And Matt would be like, that's fine, you know? But she was lying to him. She lied to him about Wesley. She didn't tell him that. She lied to him about her entire backstory. Didn't tell him that. He even asked her, he's like, why'd you come to New York? Why'd you move? She wouldn't tell him. She was like, oh, you know, just fresh start, yeah. And he's like, okay. Like, and he knows people are lying, too. Like, that's the only reason he took her case, which is how they met. Like, because he knew she was telling the truth. I don't get it. They were both lying to each other about, like, everything. And then when, you know, they actually needed to not do that anymore, they kept doing it. And then, you know, Matt's problems drove them apart. Like, they tried to pick it back up, like, in Defenders, which was, like, after season 2, in between season 3. But then Elektra showed up, and what did Matt do? Make out with her in a collapsing building. Literally try to spent the entire time trying to rescue her from the hand, even though she was the one who was, like, behind it. Like, you are not emotionally in a place where you can be with somebody else right now because you're still in love with Elektra, right? When she's not around, you can convince yourself that you're not, but you are, and there's no getting around it. And you want to say, oh no, it's over, you know? There's nothing left. Yeah, there is. Okay, I talked about this again. Anyway, what was I doing? Karen. She usually causes everything to go awry. All of her ideas fail, and somebody ends up dead, whether it's Ben Urich, because that was her fault too, technically. James Wesley, again, that was mostly self-defense, but still, quite the chain reaction that one let off. And, you know, the whole, what was his face? Grotto, her fault. The guy that shanked Fisk, her fault. Poindexter attacking the Bulletin, her fault. Like, all of it's her thing. Like, everything that she has an idea for. Dating a drug addict, her fault. Getting addicted to coke, her fault. Getting in the car drunk and high, her fault. With her brother, her fault. Like, she just makes everything worse. She was a grasp that Matt and Daredevil are, like, not super separable. She gets mad at him when he relapses, right? Even though he was like, look, I'm involved in this whether I want to be or not, man. I have no choice. Stick is, like, manipulating me, I don't know. Elektra, oh. Like, she gets so mad at him, and Foggy is like, oh, well, you know, we couldn't have actually expected him to do this, and, you know, this is kind of important, maybe it's okay. And she's like, he's an idiot. It's like, you're an idiot. At least he's not doing coke. She treats him weird. She always talks about Matt and Daredevil as if they're not the same guy, too, which is a little weird. He tries for their relationship, but ultimately, he's just not in it because of his alter ego and because of Elektra. Then she disappears and he tries to screw her. Anyway, okay, I just wanted to address, her dad is the worst. He's the worst, right? Because he literally was holding on to a dream, which was their diner, too freaking hard, right? And Karen, he would do things like buy grills he can't afford, and then she would have to fix it. And you know what makes money? Drugs. Okay, and what happens when you are around it? You're probably going to do it. What happens when you do it? You get addicted. You can't even really blame her for it. And then, like, all of these things that everything bad that, like, happens to her, she did it originally to help either her dad or Matt or somebody. And then when it pisses me off when she calls him, I don't remember why. Oh man, something bad happened. She called her dad because she was, like, really upset. She was sad, probably about Ben, and was like, Dad, can I please come visit you? And he's like, no, don't come back. But you can always call. And then she hangs up on him. Like, look, man, I know it's her fault that she got in a car accident and it killed her brother and whatever, but like, and I know, but it's just you two now. You know, move past it, right? She got into college and he was like, you're going to college. She's like, no, I have to stay and help you. He's like, you've got to get out of here. I cannot look at you. And she was like, okay. So she went to New York and went to college and ends up becoming a office manager for a law firm that then goes under really fast. And then she's a reporter, and now she works for Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. So we'll see what that ends up putting her in. Okay, so this 20-minute video is now over. Hope that you liked it. Whatever deranged Daredevil fans, find this lovely video. Hi. So I just want to briefly say, Daredevil apparently is getting renewed for season 4, most likely on Disney Plus. Thank God I have that. What else are they? Oh, Secret Invasion. Matt's gonna be in that. I am so excited for that one because Ant-Man and Daredevil interacting. That's gonna be great. They're gonna hate each other so much. Or no, Scott is gonna be like, hey, so you're blind. That's cool. I can shrink. And he's gonna be like, why am I here again? I don't like any of you people. Also, the fact that it's gonna be Nick Fury, Talos, Ant-Man, and Daredevil, and Emilia Clarke's character. Like, I am so stoked for this. I'm so excited because those characters are like the most oddball people thrown together. It makes no sense. I love it. I'm so excited. Also, Daredevil season 4. I might actually cry through the entire thing when it updates. And if they do it like they've been doing their other Disney Plus shows, where they do it like once a week and there's only like 5 episodes, I'm gonna break someone's neck. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Goodbye.